a bit of hands-on project. So, once you load your Tableau desktop, this is more like the interface you are going to see, the first interface you play with. And like I said, Tableau can connect to a lot of data sets. We saw that together. It could connect to server. Like I said, if you're an analyst and you want to work for big companies, you reckon that you might want to store most of your data to a server. But for the sake of this class, we are going to be treating connecting to a file. That's Excel files, JSON files, CSVs, etc. If it's the same approach, right? If you can connect to a data set with to a file, by that I mean that file is stored locally on your machine, that's your computer, while a server is probably stored to another an external database. But the only difference is you would want to understand that data could be more stored or could be better stored to a server because it has a very high containing capacity compared to a regular file, right? But yeah, that's like the disparity between connecting to a file and connecting to a server. And like I said, Tableau has that power to connect to a lot of file types and also different types of servers where you where you have your data bank. And let's assume we are connected to a CSV file, say stored on your local computer. So you would want to navigate towards this portion and click on more and connect to your CSV. So once you connect your CSV, it takes you to this environment. Now you have your headers because it's going to more like preview what type of data and to show you the exact data that you connected to. Now, I'll just say this, but we won't really go much into it. You can still do some manipulations, with Tableau Desktop or Tableau Public, whilst in this interface. Say you just want to work with two labels, two rows, or two columns rather. It's possible. You could filter it out and do some other manipulations depending on the context of the situation. And you could as well have joins. Imagine you have like different workbooks or worksheets in a workbook file. By that I mean your regular Excel file. You could have a particular worksheet and another worksheet, and you want to try to blend them together. Or you want to try to blend a worksheet or an Excel file with a server somewhere. You could do a lot of manipulations here with your joining and manipulating data sets, at the first environment. But we would not want to go into that for this class because of one, the time we have, and two, the complexity of the blending and joining. But I could recommend resources that would properly take you through, learning how to blend your data and analyze. But for this particular class, like the header says, data visualization using Tableau. So let's assume that we are fine with the data sets, for our preview. And you would click on sheet 1. Now, sheet 1 would take you to a new environment, showing you the different mark and dimension and measure rather. So yeah, like I just explained what worksheets are, and so yeah, by worksheets, you could see here sheet 1, and if you click this this icon beside sheet 1, it's going to show you new sheet. While beside it would be a new dashboard, and this one will be a new story. Now, let me just state this: the difference between a worksheet, a dashboard, and a story. I'll just say that in the next minute. A worksheet is particularly the environment where you create your plots and your visualization. Typically, it's just a plot you can make just one particular container of a particular plot rather. While a dashboard is a combination of different worksheets. So in a dashboard, you can combine two or more worksheets together. And while in a story, it's still similar to a dashboard, but here you are creating a roadmap, or you're creating a story of your dashboard. Say, okay, for this particular thing, we resulted to seeing this. It's more like storytelling. But if you want to bring out more of the storytelling part for your analytics or for your visualization project, you might want to employ using dashboards and stories. But if you want to quickly work on a simple task or getting quick insights, you work on sheets. Sheets is the basis, because you start by making sheets, worksheets, then combining them together to have a dashboard or to make a story. So just remember that the first thing that you have to do, or the first thing you have to create when using Tableau, is your worksheets. Is the first environment where you can make your visualization. So yeah, it's just similar with most of the software you might be familiar with, saving after you're done with your project, right? So you just click on the you just click on the this pane menu and save to Tableau Public. So the point is, you could save it on your local machine, that's your computer, and you can as well save it on the server. Now the server where this is going is the Tableau Public. So you can save your work to Tableau Public, where you must have created a Tableau Public account. Well, you must have done that even before downloading the software in the first place. And you can as well save it to your computer. So let me speak about aggregations and granularity. Sorry. Yeah, so by default, Tableau aggregates measures. So you likely see one data point when you're expecting several. Now, in this example, it is summing quantity and profit over all records in data sets. This is why you are seeing only one dot. There is one sum over all the records for quantity and one sum over all the records for profit. Now, what that means is, now let's look at this part. Sorry, my bad. I have to add that. Sorry, just hold on. Please, you can just let me know if you can hear me properly so I can proceed. Anyone, please, let's just make it as fast as possible.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. So I'll just get back to. So by default, yeah, you have the first thing you do after you created your worksheet. Now, Tableau would have aggregated what is my dimension and what is my measure. So you can see this pane here. I explained this last week. Yeah, at this left menu, you have some icons in blue. Now I'll quickly explain what that is, but let me just speak about measures too. You can see that some icons are in green. Now, what's the difference between dimension and measure? It's just very simple. So dimension is more of a qualitative, a qualitative variable or a qualitative label. Now, you'd expect that the name of some particular customers or the name of some particular people would be a dimension. Why? Because it's not quantifying anything. But by the time I count the number of people, say, okay, my name is Damola, your name is Mohammed, his name is Tobiloba, his other name is Ayomide. Those are like qualitative labels. They are not describing something in number terms. So that's why I call it dimension. Same thing for a city or a category, Lagos, Accra, London, those are cities. They are not quantifying anything, they only qualify, right? Other dates as well. So, you might want to see this as most things that are text. In fact, all things that are text or text-wise are majorly dimensions, whilst reverse is the case for the measure variable. Now, for measures, typically they're always with the quantitative aspects of the labels, like discounts, for example. You want to take a data for different people, collecting their names, and say you are giving each person some specific discounts. Say Damola has 5% discount, Oamen has 10% discount, Love has 2% discount, something like that. So discount is more of quantifying how much you are giving this particular person. To profit, the same thing. So if you check it, you see, okay, discount has to do with numbers, profit, same thing, numbers, quantity, you're counting numbers, sales numbers, cost, money, cost price numbers. Then for the latitude and longitude, it's just like generating a particular code, but let's just leave that for now. Then yeah, that's just some things you need to know about measures and dimensions. So before I proceed, I would want to know if anyone has any question before I assume that everyone is following. So if you have any question for me at this point, just let me know. Does anyone have any questions for me, please? Or you can let me know if you are following as well. That can make me proceed faster. Okay, I think I'll just go on. So I'll still come back to the aggregation and yeah, so we've spoken about measures and dimension now. So if I try to drag a measure to the dashboard, now let me try to do that with Tableau. Sorry, but let me still, it's going to take some time to load. So once I drag a measure to the view pane or to my work environment, so you only see one data point, and by default, Tableau aggregates measures. Typically it's always in sum. So what that means is, let's say I have 10 names of people. Let's say I'm a manager now, and I've employed 10 people to say make some sales for me, and each person makes we all make different profits. Say this person makes this particular profit. Let's say Tobiloba makes $10,000 profit. Oamen makes $8,000 profit. I'm thinking, so you expect that Oamen, Tobiloba, etc. Those are dimensions, right? And the profits they make, those are the measures. Now, what I'm trying to say about aggregation is, by default, Tableau aggregates all the profits into sum. So at the end of the day, if you drag the measure to the Tableau pane, it's going to show you, let's say, the total profit of all of them is, say, $100,000. So it's going to just give you a single point. Do you understand? So that's what this second paragraph is talking about. Like, the summing quantity and profit of all records, all the records you have. It's one single dot. And there is only one sum of all the records for I'm having a hard time reading that. But yeah, that's just like what aggregation is. That's what basically what aggregation is, in Tableau. Just going to wait a bit for the Tableau desktop to show. Okay, so it says aggregation can be turned off under the analysis tab by unchecking. So, that's something I'm going to show you in a moment. So, you can change the aggregation type by following the picture on the right. Granularity is aggregating not all, sorry, granularity is aggregating not over all the records, but over something like categories. So you take granularity as something similar for aggregation, but this time for dimension. Whilst aggregation is you adding something like profit together to give you a single point. Granularity is actually you, let's say you giving more details, for the type of, to like qualify where exactly the, to qualify where exactly the category is talking about. Don't worry, I think I'm doing more of talking. Let me just connect to a data set. And you can just try to appreciate what exactly I'm saying. So I'll just do that real quick. We'll still use the same data set for last week. So if you can't find, if you still have, you still struggle with downloading them, you can just check the Slack channel for where the drive where all these documents are stored. Okay, so like I said, I just connected to the CSV file and it's still loading the data. And this was the next environment. I said some things about join. So, if you come here, you can join different worksheets. Can you see them here? But for this particular, I'm working with the global store worksheet and they're pretty much other worksheets here. And I could blend them together, but that's just for like another class. So let's just leave that here. So yeah, this is my data set, my rows and my columns, and I can do some manipulations as well. So I just, going to filters. Yeah, so let's just go straight into the worksheet. My tablet is taking time to load. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about, the difference between granularity and aggregation. When I started with aggregation, let me something like profit. And if I drag it to this is my profit, and I just drag it here. Sorry that the desktop is, taking time to load the data set and struggling with, the Tableau desktop as well. Okay, but then let me just move ahead then. Okay, so it's due to text, but I want to see size. So yeah, you can see that Tableau has aggregated my total profit. So it's possible that, so what this has just done, by, like I said, by default, this is called aggregation. Now, if I want to make, or if I want to perform a granularity, all I just have to do is say, okay, let me just see my this thing by profit. So I'll just drag any of my dimension, but in this case, I want to use city to detail. So, I mean, if if you understand the English word granularity, it's like taking something and splitting it into, you know, granules. That's like, tiny bits. So yeah, I'm seeing New York City, Madrid, Newcastle, Lyon. And as you go down, depending on the profit you are making before you reach this part. So this has shown a granularity visualization, right? So you can see different cities. In the granular this thing. So all I just have to do is to drag my city to color, and you see that these shapes would have different colors. Yeah. So I mean, it just shows that you could work with how the relevance and the appreciation of working with granularity and aggregation. So at this point, does anyone have any questions for me? I don't know if I'm doing too much or I'm not really explaining very well. Before we go into our mark cards rather. Yeah, please, I would actually appreciate, like, if you are following, you can just let me know. So I would move fast, and so we don't like take some of the times that I've been lost. So we can just like go move fast as possible. So you can just let me know if you are following or you have any questions. Anyone?
Sorry, please. How did you get the color? Like, how did you get to color it all over again? I didn't get that. Sorry.
Okay, let me just clear. So if I want to clear my sheets, I'll just locate this clear sheets. So I explained something about aggregation. I'm sure we understand that. So I'm saying aggregation is if I go to my my measure, labels, discounts, profits, quantity, sales, shipping costs. Let's just stop at shipping costs and ignore the rest. Now, I'm saying by default, Tableau would aggregate, it's going to sum all these things. So if I say drag my profit to size, now it's showing me a box, right? Showing me that, okay, this is 1 million plus whatever dollars. And now, what it has just done is for every, let me go back to data source. Let me try to locate profit. So you can see that each customer, they've taken their details, their market, region, product ID, this, that, this, and this is the person's profits. The second customer, this profits, this is their profits. I can also see negative profits. That means it's a loss. They have to take that in mind too. Let's keep that in mind rather. This is the profit. So what Tableau has done is it has automatically aggregated all these profits that you are seeing to this. So now that's what we call aggregation. But I'm now saying granularity is giving more detail of giving a qualified detail of my dimension label. So say I want let me use customer name for example. I want to see the customer that has more profit. All I just have to do is to drag my customer to my size mark. Now, it might be difficult for me to know customer with the most profit. So I could just say increase this. Let me just okay.
Maybe 8. How you can have fun? 6. Hey.
Last time we practiced our
What do you say?
6, 9.
No, Shimba, how did you start next? And this is like 6:49. And you guys will still leave that same 8.
Is anyone saying anything? Is anyone saying anything? Okay. So you can see that Tamara Chant has like the highest profits, right? But now I want to know. Okay. I think using this thing states might be better. So I mean, you can reckon that England makes more profits, California is second, New York, like that. But then I want to like give a more, with this, I'm assuming that all countries are blue, but I want to give a more distinct, I want to give a more, now, the activity I've just performed is granularity. Because of the state, I kept on my detail. It's now splitted each, this has aggregated, this has formed all, all my records into one single dot. But for me to now see, okay, which one is which particular customer has this specific profit out of this 1.4 million. So, or which particular state does, has more chunk out of this 1.4 million. I'll just add my state to details. You get, but now I want to give more clarity or more distinction, and I want to add more colors, and I'll still drag my states to color. So now, if I just go down, this is England. This practice is not actually good, but for the sake of understanding what these things are. So if I click on England on the filter mark, it's going to show me this. So have I answered your question? Please, you can let me know if you understand or not, and I can come back as fast as possible. So have I answered your question? Please, you can as well be following me, like while I'm doing it, you can be practicing with Tableau as well, so it gets faster. So I think I've done some emphasis and need some emphasis on what what granularity and aggregations are. So what are marks? These are like 4 things you just saw, like 5, sorry. So you want to include more than one dimension in your chart, and you can do that through the marks chart, through the mark card. That's 5 key things: like color, size, shape, label, etc. So what you just do is to increase granularity and aggregation, basically. Like the way I just explained, I was playing around color, size, the shape. If you are not very comfortable with the squares, so you just come to this automatic. All you have to do is maybe you want set instance, you can make something like this, or you want say let's say text. So what I just have to do is to take this text and show. Yeah. If I just try to do something. Because I have a lot of states, that's why. Let me see a map that is. So, but never mind. I'm just trying to explain each of these maps. So color is just you adding more clarity as to okay, what some particular distinction between which dimension label or which grid has different words. Like the example I just demonstrated. And size as well. Let's say I want to see the profit by. Let me create the map. I think I explained how to create the map. So if you want to create the map, you just look for your latitude or longitude. Then once I'm here, I'll just double click, generate it for me. Double click latitude and double click longitude. It's taking some time to load. Yeah, the map is taking some time to load. So, but then I'll just explain how to use the color mark, the size mark, shape mark, detail, and label. I'll just explain them using this particular example. So, yeah, I think another example. And so we can go to filters as soon as possible. Okay, so yeah, we created our map. So imagine I want to see a particular country that makes more profit. Now I go to profit. But I need to get something. Okay, I want to get which country makes more profit. How can I know that? Then I can drag my profit to size. Just hold on. Okay, so something I want to do is to add my country. Sorry, I'm just having some lags with my laptop. Okay, it has come up. So yeah, the first thing I did was to generate my longitude and latitude to come up with this the geocodes, respective geocodes. And now I have my representation of countries. Like I said, automatically Tableau recommends, it uses AI to recommend the best practices for you. So it sees that okay, Circles might be the best representation, but if you are not fine with that, you could either change it to square or other shapes that you might want. There are a lot of shapes to use. Shape blocks or anything. Let me see. Oh, I think this will be better. Okay. So that's that about this. Just to change the shape of the icon that is represented on the worksheet. Let's see. So let's try to use size. So I now want to quantify that. Okay, what particular state is making more profit? If I just drag my profit to size, I've seen that my circles are no longer. Let me do that again. Now, from an angle, you can see that my circles are kind of equal. In fact, they are equal to each other in terms of size, right? But if I want to give more distinction or disparity, I don't want them to be together. I want something that would properly segregate them from themselves. See how to see. You expect that not all countries are making the same profit, right? So let me just add this to size. I can see that some circles are now smaller, some are now bigger. Let me try to increase the size just to gain more clarity. That's too much. That's too much. Okay, I think it's better. So now you can see that some countries are this, some countries are very tiny, etc. But now to further describe, notice that US might be the biggest, take on US, see this one here, China 150, Australia, you can easily spot the ones that are big, India, China, France, Germany, United Kingdom, United States, very easy. But this might not be a very good practice. Let me try my profit to follow. Now this is something you would want to see. If I come to my legend here, you can see if it's turning towards orange or yellow, it's showing me that I'm losing. If it's turning towards a positive green or a darker green, it's showing me that I'm making more money, more profit. So you would want to expect that USA is making the most profit. While countries like Nigeria, Argentina, Netherlands, Pakistan, South Korea, Philippines, they are making loss, especially look at this one. Honduras. I think Nigeria is even making the most loss in this chart. Netherlands. These are some things and how you can, that's how you can represent your, for label. Let me remove my, okay, let me just do. Now, if I add profit to label, all it's just going to show me is the exact amount instead of, yeah. So it's now going to add text to each circle. That's what label does. And then detail just shows, detail doesn't do much. It just shows that, okay, this is added to my tooltip, which I'm going next. So if I add, let's say, profits to the tooltip. So what tooltip is, as I'm hovering over this, as I'm hovering these icons, you can see something showing, country Libya profits 2,045, country United States profits 286, blah, blah, blah. Now that's the tooltip. You can see it here. That's the tooltip. Brazil profits is China, country China profits 150. So that's the tooltip. So I could, sorry. So I might decide not to show the tooltip. I might make some edits as well. Okay, responsive, show tooltip instantly. If I don't want to show it instantly, I could change the for edit the settings, on over, let me change it to an over. So you can see, so until I over the exact icon before it shows. But in terms of responsive only shows immediately. Okay. So you can see responsive. Most times, we always use responsive commands for tooltip. And shape is just basically the representation of these strings. Want it to be square, want it to be triangle, or box, or plus, multiplication. You still have the ability to include more shapes. You could make your custom shapes as well, but that's for like advanced classes. But yeah, it's just like basic understanding of like things you need to know at this level. We have successfully explained marks, and let me just try to see. Yeah, for color, you can also manipulate them. You can manipulate the type of color you want. Let me just make a chart instead from the map. You can see I've opened a new sheet. Let's just see market. Yeah. Let's see sales. Now, what I've just done here is which markets make more sales. So I now want to maybe arrange, if I want to arrange this in order of, which one is the first to the last, or the last to the first. So you will notice this button here. Ascending to descending. So based on ascending, also it's based on descending. That's from the top to the last. Descending order. So I want to show more colors to this. I don't like the way each market's value is having the same color. So who can tell me what I'm doing?
You pull the markets to the colors.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's the right answer. So I'll just add my market to color, and that's it. Maybe I don't like the APAC color. Maybe I'm it's your color. Let's say I don't like this color. I just want to change APAC color. So you just click on color, edit colors. So you click on APAC here. Maybe you want to choose brown. Apply. So if you apply, it doesn't save. It just shows you. But it doesn't save. Until I press OK, then it accepts it. I feel like we're good to go, right? Okay. So I think that's more like it about marks, size, and all your mark cards. Let's go to filters. See, for example, you saw that my country example, I had a lot of countries, and I don't want to waste time opening, a lot of countries, and I just want to be specific to maybe countries that are having more profits, or the ones that are having more loss. So I could filter them out, the ones I don't need. And I can do that while having on the worksheet. Let me just do that right now. We have another sheet. So let's say I want to see the top countries that are having the top 10 countries that are having the most profit, or that are making the most profit. So how I can do that is I go to my dimension, my country. I drag it to the filter, this filter here. Then a page will pop up. Good. So now you have three options. You might just want to choose the exact country you want to work with. Maybe, okay, I just want to work with Zambia, or maybe Zambia, Yemen, or Zambia, Yemen, Venezuela, etc. That's why like they're asking this general, but you could as well search for text, maybe Switzerland, and see. You could just play around, and because Tableau is assuming that you work with a lot of millions and millions of data sets, so that's why it's accounting for the search text. They could also use, by custom value list is, let's say you don't know the exact what you're looking for, maybe let's say Switzerland, for example. You can't really remember the name, but you know it is something land. So by custom value list, it just brings out, all the values that contain the word EANT. You can see Finland, Ireland, Netherlands, Switzerland, Swaziland, Thailand. So it brings out all the custom values that contain the words that I typed LAND. If I put S, it's only Netherlands, LANDS in that order. Good. So what I'll use always, combine everything together, but you have to wildcard means okay, start with this, end with this, exactly matches this. You can just play around with them. Condition. Condition, I said this is where I'm with. You want to work with only the fields that have say the highest profits, maybe the average profits. You could just make a lot of, but the thing is, by the time you are working on your project, I would be guiding everyone or the assignments that I'll be giving very soon. I'll try as much as possible to combine the assignments together so like everyone can have something to work on. So, like I said, I'm looking for top 10. So I'll just go to top 10. Remember, I said top 10 countries. Remember, it's country we are doing our filter on. Top 10. So this top, this 10. It will be bottom, the last 10. But we are dealing with the top 10 for profit. Remember. Now, is it the sum of profit or average or count or median? But, it's sum I want. And if I just press OK, it already shows. So if I drag my profits to this, coming, I just want to see how I can explain this properly. Okay. So I just did something. Remember, this value here contains the top 10 countries, out of all my data sets that has the top profits. Remember when I showed us on our map that United States had, I'll show something like United States, France, China, Germany, etc. Now you can see that represented them in bars here. Now, why it is, let me just get this out. I mean, everybody understands up to this part. So I've filtered out this particular mark here, I filtered out contains countries, the top 10 countries with the highest profit. So if I want to, make this chart relevant, I could just press Control. I'll hold my Control button, then drag countries to let's say column, and have them out. Now, remember I said, okay, these are my countries with, sorry, countries with the top 10 profits. I filtered them out. And let's now see, I want to see how much they are performing in terms of sales. So I can just drag sales to rows. Let's accept this. So what can be your level? Okay, this for sales. Let me try to look for profit and make it dual. Coming, trying to get something, just hold on. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm getting actually. Okay, so here you can see that United States, Australia, France, and this is for my sales and this for my profits. So what I've just done here is I've created dual axis that shows, okay, this country, United States ranks first. So this is like from top to bottom as per sales. This one make more sales. This is second, third best sales, selling country, fourth best, fifth best, like that. But here is not the case. I'm saying that this is my best making profit country, and I think China is the next. So you could check it. So section and disparity as okay. This is the sales part as United States is making more sales. They are still making an equivalent amount of profit. For Australia, yes, they are making more sales. But you can't compare their sales. They are making more sales compared to China. China is making more profit compared to Australia. These are like some of the things you can do with, filtering and playing around. So, yeah, that's just like what I've done. Okay, so when I started learning Tableau, I did not have any like I okay. So something that helped me there was the show me feature. To show me, or the Tableau has made it very easy for beginners, to very conversant with building dashboards and worksheets. Even if I don't know how to build anything, even if I don't even know what I'm going to do, but I just know that I want to work with, let's say, my market. You can hold your control. I want to work with my markets. I want to work with dates. Where's the other dates? So I'm holding control down and I'm thinking. And I want to work with, let's say, profits. I want to work with these three variables, but I don't know the best representation of how I can represent them. So as I've clicked on three of them, now this feature called show me. You can see this one to be legible. That means I can try it. I can also try this, try this, try this, try this. I can't work with this because it's blank. I can try this, 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 this. Let me now see, okay, let me just see what I can do. I think I'll prepare it. Let me see how this will look. If I don't really like it, let me try this. Okay, sounds interesting. Let me try this. Pie chart. Text tables. Add some bunch of numbers. Let me try something fascinating. Okay. area chart. Okay. You know, what I'm just trying to say is Tableau is doing the work for you. All you just have to do is, okay, what type of chart do I want? How do I want to represent my, the variables I've chosen? So it's just very, very easy for you to, solve and choose whatever you want and it's like that. Let me just say I ended up choosing this. Yeah, that's just it. So that's that about show me. Now let's go to building dashboards. I think we started with this last week. So I'll just try to wrap it up as soon as possible. Let me clear all my sheets. Let me clean all the sheets here. Now let's just assume, okay, I want to build a line chart, maybe other dates, control. Let me press my control down, quantity and sales. Let me go to show me. Remember, it's a line chart I want to do. Let me see for lines. Okay, maybe I have too many dimensions. Let me just make it, okay, yeah, let me just say profits. Okay, so my second sheet, I want to do a country sales. I want to represent it with a map. Click latitude, double click longitude. Oh, sorry. Let me clear the chart. Add your country to let's say sales. Okay, and let me now put my profits to colors. Good. Oh, I'm not so fast, or I'm not like kind of rushing. You could still format some of these things like you can do something like this, like the streets, outdoors. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of methods at which you can represent. So I don't want my country details. Let me just. I'm sorry. So my last sheet, let me just make a bar chart with markets, maybe shipping costs. So I want to arrange this in descending. Yeah. So if I now want to create a dashboard, which is our next, our final task for the night, I'll just go to new dashboard. And it takes me here. Like I said, my formatting, I want my sheet to be at the left bottom corner. I drag it to my dashboard. I want my map to be so this transparent stuff shows where my dashboard is going to be, position of where my dashboard is. So by the time I leave it displays it down. And I want my shipping to be at the right bottom side. So I drag click to the right button. There you go. So now I've successfully made a dashboard, although you can make these things very very clean, make them cleaner, make them look more beautiful, adding colors and make a lot of formatting. But you can learn that on your own, right? With same resources that can be helpful. But let's now assume that I want my dashboard to be interactive. Then I click on each dashboard, each sheet. Then use as filter. Come to this sheet, use as filter. Come to this sheet, use as filter. That manual line stuff. I fill it up. So by the time I click QSC, it's going to make you'll see some dynamic changes to this other sheet. So yeah, I can see that in the year 2011 to 14, I've been recording high profits for US, and this is the market, shipping costs for the particular market in the US. Let me choose Nigeria, for example. Now, it's obvious that you are losing every year, losing. There's still some loss, but it's still part of losing. And the market is Africa, right? And that amounts to shipping cost of, shipping costs in Nigeria. So yeah, you can just play around with different stuff. You've successfully created a dashboard that way. You can just do some formatting using these tools here. So that will be at your leisure time. I think okay. I think the last thing is to create a story. So if you want to build a story, you'll be using dashboard, but you can as well use worksheets too. So let's say you want to write something about sales profit performance. I want to talk about how so stories just like some story points basically. Let's see. Come here, I go to add story, new story. So add a caption. Let's say something like United States is performing more than any other country. Let's say USA is performing more than other countries in terms of profits. So I dragged my sheets, maybe this sheet to here. As I come it back here, if I want to add more story, I just duplicate. The next thing I might want to do is Alright, so yeah, that's just how to create a story basically. So I'll just leave on this note. Let me just show quickly one of like the a dashboard I've built. See that you could format them as well. I just really hope it opens if I still have the file. And if it doesn't open now, I'll try to send them to the group chat so everyone can see. Yeah, so I'll be leaving now, but does anyone have any questions for me? Because I have like 3 minutes to end. Just ask them as fast as possible because I don't have the time right now.
Sorry, please. Are we going to get the slides? Because I just want to be sure.
Okay, sure, I'll do that. That's not a problem. But this night, I'm not sure, but I'll try my best to. But you surely get it. Any other question? All right. Let's see. All right. So yeah, this like brings us to the end of the meeting. Since no one has any other questions again, right? So thank you so much for like waiting. And I also apologize for joining in late. So see you next week, and I think the final class is more like a revision class, and we'll be attending to some questions and describing the project, and also a revision of everything we've done, for the past 5 weeks. And I think it's going to be a physical class, so we'll be having this at one of the classes at the engineering. But I'll surely communicate on the venue before then. Yeah. So good night, everyone. See you next week.